Are the students really learning? Are they enjoying studying at home? Are they actively participating and listening in online classes? Is face-to-face really safe? There is an educational principle that states that when more of the body senses are involved, learning can be maximized. This is why, according to this concept, taking notes, actively listening, and attentively monitoring the teachers helps the students remember and learn more. Some experts even say that taking notes or handwritten is still more effective than their digitally produced counterparts. Physically, it is easier for students to learn. They sense the presence or emotion of being in a school. It also helps the students are in a school environment because they are more able to concentrate and will just do schoolwork. There is no other distraction that will prevent you from doing your schoolwork.
According to some studies, 70% of students prefer face-to-face class, and that face-to-face learning is an effective way to learn knowledge and skills because it often combines different ways of learning, including the writing, discussion, presentation, group work, projects, film clips, demonstration, and practice. The Department of Education and Health have given assurance that face-to-face classes are safe. In line with the pilot implementation of limited face-to-face classes in selected low-risk areas in the country. The DepEd and the DOH have identified mechanisms to ensure safety of participating learners, teaching and non-teaching staff, and their families.
The guidance sets standard on readiness of school for reopening. It implements the prevent, detect, isolate, threat, and reintegrate framework, highlighting the importance of availability of water, sanitation, and hygiene, wash facilities, proper ventilation in a classroom, in ensuring that classroom layout enable physical distancing.
We are ready now to have face-to-face classes. Why? Because there are many young people have been vaccinated, and it's still going on. Everyone knows that wearing a face mask, keeping the body clean, and physical distancing are now necessary during the pandemic. So when face-to-face class start, everyone knows the do's and don'ts, so everyone can be assured of safety once the face-to-face classes begin. Those are some of the reasons why we should have face-to-face education. And some of Filipinos doesn't have gadgets. And the internet is one of the big problem too. Well, it wouldn't be a problem if Philippines has fast internet and free Wi-Fi or internet. But no, we don't. Buying loads are problem too because it's so expensive for other students, and also load will not last for a week. Online classes are really hard for everyone, whether financially or emotionally.
The effects on the way students learn through face-to-face learning is way much better than online class. Students can easily comprehend on what their teacher are teaching through face-to-face learning. Instructors are better able to gauge understanding and interest of students. It is easier to generate group excitement about subjects. It is also easier to hold students accountable and to support students create good connections or creates stronger academic experience for students. And it is also helps to improve your mental health. The importance of face-to-face learning is to give better motivation to study, instant feedback, face-to-face interaction with instructors is better for the learning process. It is too difficult to learn everything through online classes. Face-to-face is much better than online classes.
As we all know, education is one of the most important aspects in our life. And we knew that education is greatly affected by the recent condition of our country because of the outbreak of the coronavirus disease. As to mitigating the effects of the public health crisis, we are obliged and responsible for the possible outcome of the reconsideration of the reopening of the face-to-face classes that involves the students' well-being and safety. The face-to-face classes remained a necessity in education, especially for us, every learners. The social factor of the system, whereas the interactions are apparent between the learners and the educators, thus cannot be replaced wholly. In comparison with the distance learning modalities, which students experience vast alterations in the learning environment, and that includes the inconsistency of direct monitoring of the educators, the household incapacity for resource and instructional support, and even the uncertain skills of the learners for self-learning in the process. However, people and fellow students' concerns are now being resolved, as with the implementation of the limited face-to-face classes for students occupying areas where it was vulnerable to COVID-19 and was reported to have a very low number of infected cases shall be possible. Conducting limited face-to-face classes, along with restrictive health protocols among urban and rural areas, must be strategically planned to ensure the learner's safety and well-being. From that, responding to the reintroduction of the face-to-face classes, as to whether it is safe or not to be held, well, it is reflected from the evidences provided and were implied and had been demonstrated, serving as proofs itself, therefore guaranteed that it is partially prudent today and most certainly in the future. Taking a big part in this issues in this kind of situation played a big role in our lives. And beyond everything else, education is our foundation to a better life and vocation. And education mattered to us as our lives does. Thank you.